What if the most dangerous moment in your spiritual life is not when things fall apart, but when everything feels normal? What if faith isn't proven in emergencies, but in the quiet hours when no one is watching? What if being ready for God has less to do with fear of judgment and more to do with how you live every ordinary day? In Luke 12:35-48, Jesus speaks about watchfulness. He is not describing a dramatic end-time spectacle. He is speaking to everyday people about everyday faithfulness, about being awake, alert and ready, not someday, but now. Jesus begins with an image that would have been very familiar to his listeners. He tells them to be dressed for action, with lamps burning like servants waiting for their master to return from a wedding feast. They do not know the exact hour, they only know that he will come. This image is simple, yet deeply challenging. The servants are not panicking, they are not standing frozen at the door. They are living their responsibilities faithfully, but with awareness. Their lamps are lit, their hearts are attentive. Watchfulness in Jesus' teaching is not anxiety. It is readiness rooted in trust. The master could return late at night or even at dawn. The servants who are ready will immediately open the door when he knocks. And then Jesus says something shocking. He says the master will seat those servants at the table and serve them. This turns expectations upside down. The faithful servants are not merely rewarded, they are honored. The master becomes the servant. This reveals something profound about God's heart. Watchfulness is not about earning approval through fear, it is about relationship. It is about living in such a way that when God draws near, it feels like home. Jesus then shifts the image. He compares watchfulness to a homeowner guarding against a thief. If the homeowner knew exactly when the thief would come, he would be ready. The point is not paranoia. The point is awareness. Life can change suddenly. Opportunities can pass quickly. Moments of calling can arrive unexpectedly. So Jesus says, be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour you do not expect. This statement is not meant to terrify. It is meant to awaken, to shake people out of spiritual sleepwalking. Peter then asks a question. He wants to know if this teaching is meant only for the disciples or for everyone. Jesus responds by telling another parable, this time about a manager put in charge of the household while the master is away. The faithful manager does his work responsibly. He feeds the servants at the proper time. He does not exploit his authority. He does not become careless just because no one is watching. When the master returns and finds him faithful, he is given even greater responsibility. But there is another kind of manager, one who assumes the master is delayed, one who begins to abuse others, indulge himself, and forget his purpose. He lives as if accountability no longer exists. And when the master returns unexpectedly, the consequences are severe. This part of the teaching can feel uncomfortable, but it is important to understand Jesus' intention. He is not delighting in punishment. He is revealing the seriousness of trust. The manager was entrusted with responsibility. His failure was not ignorance, it was presumption. He assumed delay meant absence. He assumed silence meant permission. He assumed time belonged to him. This is where watchfulness becomes deeply personal. Watchfulness is not about scanning the sky. It is about how we live when we think no one is paying attention. It is about what we do with the trust we have been given. Jesus makes it clear that accountability is connected to knowledge. Those who knew their responsibility and ignored it are held more accountable than those who acted in ignorance. This reveals God's justice as thoughtful and fair, not arbitrary. Then Jesus says a line that echoes through history. From everyone who has been given much, much will be required. This is not just about material resources. It is about truth, opportunity, influence, time, and calling. To hear Jesus' teachings is to be entrusted with something precious. To know God's will is to be invited into responsibility. Watchfulness means we take that responsibility seriously, not out of fear, but out of love. So what does watchfulness look like in everyday life? It looks like integrity when no one is watching, faithfulness in small tasks, compassion that does not depend on recognition, obedience that does not wait for applause. It means living as if today matters eternally. Many people think they will get serious about faith later, when life slows down, when circumstances improve, when they feel more ready. But Jesus warns against this mindset. Delay can become denial, assumption can become neglect. The unfaithful manager did not start by rejecting the master. He simply stopped paying attention. Spiritual unfaithfulness often begins quietly. A little compromise, a little distraction, a little delay. Over time, watchfulness fades and habits replace awareness. Jesus is calling his listeners back to alertness, not alertness driven by fear, but by love and purpose. To be watchful is to live with the awareness that your life is connected to something greater than your schedule, your comfort, or your plans. It is to recognize that God's kingdom is not postponed until the future. It is already near. Watchfulness also brings hope, because readiness means anticipation. It means expectation. It means believing that the Master will return, not to destroy joy, but to complete it. The servants with lit lamps are not exhausted. They are hopeful. They believe their waiting has meaning. This teaching challenges the idea that faith is passive. Faith is active, attentiveness. It is living in alignment with what you believe. Jesus does not ask his followers to predict the future. He asks them to be faithful in the present. This passage invites reflection. How do you live when you think time is on your side? How do you treat others when you believe accountability is far away? How do you use what you've been entrusted with? Watchfulness transforms ordinary moments into sacred ones. Every conversation becomes an opportunity. Every decision carries weight. Every day becomes meaningful. This does not mean living in constant pressure. It means living with clarity. Clarity about who you serve, clarity about why you live, clarity about what matters most. Jesus' warning is also an encouragement, because readiness is possible. Faithfulness is achievable. You do not need to know everything. You only need to stay awake. Staying awake means returning again and again to prayer, reflection, humility, and love. It means allowing God to realign your heart when distractions pull you away. The Master's return is not something to dread for those who live watchfully. It is something to welcome. As this message comes to a close, remember that watchfulness is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is about choosing attentiveness over apathy, faithfulness over complacency, love over self-indulgence. Your life matters. Your choices matter. Your faithfulness matters. Thank you for watching this video. If this message encouraged you, please like, follow the Holy Path Insights channel, and share this video with someone who may need this reminder today. Your support helps spread messages of faith, readiness, and hope to others around the world.